Welcome and good day, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Azmi Yaakob. I represent Teradata Malaysia as the account executive. So today I will share in terms of artificial intelligence and machine learning from Teradata, which can be used for your enterprise objectives. So in Teradata, our mission is to transform how businesses work and people live through the power of data. This is not only just a brand promise, but a core value that we share. For the last 20, 30, 40 years, ever since Teradata was formed in the late 70s, our ongoing mission is to provide this differentiator and value to all clients and into the market, as well internally for Teradata and our ecosystem as well. Okay, so the first thing is on delivering ongoing value. So what is the ongoing value that's required for all companies? All companies and as an analytics platform owner will be to support the businesses that you are employed to. So it could be in finance, in human resource, in operation, in e-commerce, retail, or upstream. If you are in oil and gas, it can be in exploration as well as chemicals and gas processing. Okay. So what are the efficiencies and what are the cost limitations when you scale? So one thing that Teradata has developed is to solve all these issues by re-innovating its products from time after time, and in the last 3 5 years into the cloud environment, which is the hyperscale computing. So what are the issues in terms of AI and ML? So technically there are three basic issues. First is data, second is scale, and third is deployment. So one example is that 80% of majority of projects is focused on preparing the right data from the data sources, integrating the data, as well as quality. Right? So a lot of pre-processing is required. We have armies and teams in terms of doing the QA. And for example, if in your business, if you are looking at a validation and verification of data, then you have an army of QA in terms of the data engineers that you require. So it's a costly affair. And this provides unnecessary barriers to you. What Teradata is providing is a 1, 2, 3 step, an easy deployment where you can focus on your modeling and the outcome of your business. Having said that, what is at stake? So 2 times higher profits. It's a 15.4 trillion value industry. So AI and ML has a lot of promise. And what it goes with it is critical mass and ongoing innovation. I mean, one of the most obvious innovation of late is ChatGPT, right? So now it's ChatGPT 4. So a lot of innovation in the productivity angle and that stage has emerged to the level that even some of the captains of industry like Elon Musk recently has called out for the stopping of the advancement of AI. However, we can't stop innovation, right? Because it's a free market. So every company would want to gain more revenue, they want to reduce costs, and they want to improve their state of business. So that's the reality of what's in stake. Now, I would like to talk a little bit in terms of the existing solution today. So a lot of the solution that was developed were born out of the cloud. So unlike Teradata, which we have been developing since the late 70s and up to today, we have understood data from the very core until now into the cloud. Now with cloud, you have new type of data, streaming data. You even have analytics data for IoT, for voice or wave, and as well as for geospatial data. The three key problem in terms of current solution is that, unlike Teradata, current companies or current technology providers are selling you partial solutions, which will create more further problems because of their inexistence in terms of scaling. Then they couldn't solve the issue in terms of your processing and storage once you begin to scale even further in terms of more use case and more data into your data warehouse. So that's the first problem. Second is the lack of cost-effective scaling and interoperability, which causes inefficiencies and increases costs. So Teradata, we operate both on on-premise as well as on the cloud. Majority of the cloud solution, which is providing similar solutions to Teradata, does not able to adjust to the on-premise solution that we have. So we have this capability and capacity in delivery end-to-end. So the third problem is most analytic problems are not robust for large-scale deployment. So you take a look of recent times. Ali Ghodsi from from Databricks, excuse me, he in a Bloomberg technology interview created Dolly and focused on a small set of data. What does this mean? It's because new companies on the cloud, they are unable to develop and structure their solution for larger data sets. Teradata has worked on 1,000 instances in the AWS cloud, and this is our latest benchmark last year. So what we have done is really not what the other solution providers are focusing on. Teradata, we want to focus, simplicity, scaling, all the areas that we were looking at data, scale, and deploy, as was mentioned earlier on. Now, for companies to execute AI and ML at scale, there are three key critical capabilities that are required. These three capabilities, we can enable you, and you can support your businesses to do more with less. So the first critical capability is to spend less time in data preparation. Second is to scale model and queries across the organizations or your organization without cost overruns. And third is to deploy at scale. So this is what we deliver. We deliver sustainable value and predictive outcomes. Predictive and prescriptive to an extent in how you want to use your modeling tools as well the data at hand. Another feature that you want to consider is also external data. So besides the internal data that you have, for instance, as an analytics platform operator or developer, your client is looking for greater customer retention and to reduce customer attrition, then you need to scale out inclusive of external data, semantic data, natural language processing, psychographic and demographic data. These are important data when you are dealing with pattern behaviors in consumption, especially in the retail end. So these are some of the things that you must consider. There's three key capabilities, and for Teradata, we're able to solve this and provide you from our solution and also services team. Now I'm going to deviate in terms of analytics away from data. Even though data analytics is beginning to be more fuzzy and merge into a single multidisciplinary area. However, in this part of the presentation, I would like to share a bit in terms of our solution in terms of ClearScape Analytics. So technically, ClearScape Analytics is Teradata Vantage. Vantage is our cloud solution. It's our flagship product on the cloud, on either AWS, Google, or Microsoft Azure. And ClearScape Analytics provides that comprehensive end-to-end pipeline of applied AI or AI ML function to help you resolve, all your business challenges by providing queries to complex questions fast and deliver actionable results. This is our demonstrable value for you as an analytics platform owner, and I think it'll be very useful. So some of the features, like for example, you can create reusable feature stores, scale model and queries without cost overrun. That means you can scale up and scale down without penalty. Build or bring your own models. We have a concept which is called BYOM and BYOH. So bring your own modeling or bring your own hardware. So for example, if you have your data engineering team develop specific models, data models or data set for your business using Python or Java or equivalent technologies in the cloud, then it can be incorporated into the overall Teradata solution. So we operationalize at scale, and we can monitor your analytics pipeline, not just one-to-one, but one-to-many. So in case if you were to scale, at a certain event, which requires a lot of data because of, situation or, like geopolitical scenarios or restraint or even oversupply within your value chain, then ClearScape Analytics can provide that analysis for you real time. Now, delivering on the promise of AI/ML is not an easy situation. A lot of companies have been trying for many, many years. But for Teradata, because we have the pedigree as well as the core approach in terms of end-to-end, we are able to deliver a highly complex and complicated and convoluted environment as easy as 1, 2, 3. So for Teradata, we have what we call Analytics 1, 2, 3, which is our strategic framework, and help your business execute end-to-end analytics lifecycle. So as an analytic platform owner, this is excellent. This is very good for you because you can communicate with your stakeholders and owners that there is a simple way of addressing their issues using analytics, particularly in AI and ML. So the first step is preparing data, training your models, and deploying models. Unlike solutions in the past, point products, they might have like ready-made solution with Markov AI models or stochastic, have forecasting models or data mining tools. But those are prepackaged solutions that will only work within a specific scale. For Teradata, you train and more or less build a framework within your modeling environment so that once your data stream, it can be deployed in real time and at a very fast scale. So this is important because with real time, because business today requires of greatest agility, right? A lot of events take place in real time and you will need information at your fingertips so that you can address to the line of business queries in terms of what next, in terms of where we want, in terms of revenue, in terms of cost optimization, and even when you want to do trading, for example, if you are in the trading space. Now, having said all that, I would like to address this particular area, which is solving the complexity, which are your complex problems fast with the most extensive in-database analytic capabilities. Okay, so what Teradata is doing is we're trying to bring, within a certain fabric or within a certain processing for analytics. So what Vantage Cloud from Teradata provide is both enterprise and lake. So the difference with enterprise and lake are that enterprise is more for your traditional systems like ERP, like human resource, and your core operation systems, which are running on RDBMS, those that require of highest SLA, right? So if your business require ERP at its highest SLA because of the needs of the line of business, then Vantage Cloud Enterprise is suitable for you. However, there's an emerging volume of data because of the new technologies of today, especially in the area of Industry Revolution 4.0 and with 5G. We have data lake which manage a lot of your native object storage. Data which are on the cloud, which are on the edge, and even in IoT. So this is where Vantage Cloud Lake help to support within a single ecosystem. So we support full end-to-end machine learning pipeline with a broad array of machine learning capabilities. We process it with native functions, and we provide the support to you, and we deploy predictive analytics, model, and insights at scale and within a seamless process. Okay, so I give an example. A lot of your systems on the enterprise are very much process-driven, so like ERP, for instance. However, analytics is something that is required when you want to do for reporting or you want to provide more meaningful, predictive and prescriptive insights in terms of what the line of business or your business are heading to. So as an analytic platform owner, this both solution will provide clearly an end-to-end infrastructure for you to support that. Now, having said all the technology part in terms of what Teradata have in terms of value in the AI and ML space, we want to look at some examples in the industries, cross industries that you could actually relate to. So the first is in financial services. So financial services is an industry where it focuses on deployment of transaction, on bank deposits in terms of equities and assets, and they have multiple branches to help provide like ATM machines. That's one example. Like at a branch, people come in and do beyond transaction. They also invest and provide fixed deposits. And to an extent for B2B, for businesses, they will have investment flows and as well as trading that's conducted by the financial services. So financial services is a highly sensitive industry, right? And some of the SLA has performance penalties. Okay, so if you lose a minute or maybe an hour of business, it can run into millions of costs. So there's a lot of examples that you can look at, and local as well as external. So for example, in Malaysia, we have a lot of challenges um, with data hacking, for instance, and as well as fraud. So it's been cited like Maybank and CIMB. If you look at Bank Negara or the central bank reports, they were fined last year because of this issue. So financial services is a highly sensitive industry, and the impact is multifold. So slashing data prep or data preparation time is key in achieving that goal to transaction. So from cutting 37 hours to 12 minutes, one European bank, for example, was able to resolve the fraud prediction model into production, and they are able to solve a lot of these issues. So 200 times improvement in data processing optimization, 90% responses below 450 milliseconds in real-time scoring application are not exaggerated values, but what these companies had garnered from the adoption of Teradata's AI/ML solution. So detecting 100 million preventable fraud. So for Teradata, we have partners like Cerebrus, for example, that we do this. So we look at remote access takeover. This is one example that manages in terms of fraud detection and prevention. So for you as an analytic platform owner, this is a key solution in the financial services that you can provide and help support in terms of the line of business whenever they ask for, to solve in this complex area or arena. In the retail and manufacturing, well, it's as sensitive, but it's not without much of the SLA and performance penalties in the financial services. However, in retail, any loss in terms of online or even time to market would would have consequences of lost opportunity, lost revenue in particular. Well, running costs, because in retail, if you have brick and mortar retail outlets nationwide, like 7-Eleven, for example, then that running cost will require additional marginal revenue leveraging on digital technology. And with AI/ML, we are able to achieve that. So improving product demand forecast without data movement is one example. A 6.6 billion national retailer is able to amass this benefit and is able to train in 3 hours 2.6 form demand forecasting models and over 360,000 seasonality profiling models trained in 50 minutes with zero data movement. With zero data movement, meaning with existing costs. So this is interesting because for having retail, and retail has very small, very sharp profit margins. Like in the delivery services, the margins are in the ringgits or cents. So every ringgit and every cent counts for a retail business, especially in delivery. So improving that demand forecasting by the psychographic and demographic analysis of where you are targeting in terms of the market, it could be in the central, east, west, or even offshore and onshore. Then this is a solution that help fulfill you and provide not only just high impact outcomes, but high growth. In manufacturing, what is important is managing your inventories, and so just-in-time inventory is one example, but as well as providing the output of what you are manufacturing into the market, at the opportune time, right? Sometimes, and obviously, there's a lot of manufacturing automotive companies, for example, producing cars or automobiles at the wrong time, especially in this time of adoption in electric vehicles. Like if you are still producing old diesel and petrol-based cars and automotives, then you are missing a huge new market, right? So one example as a smart factory or intelligent factory is that Teradata was able to help reduce a lot of manual effort and perform Quality assurance, I mean, like there's a lot of compliance required in the manufacturing industry. So for in the automotive, like emissions is one. Second is in terms of crash testing for in terms of safety, regulatory. And there's a whole lot of regulatory that's required in the automotive industry, depending from country to country, right? So manufacturing has to be agile and they have to be resilient as well. And they have to be highly secured in their supply chain in order to innovate when there's new markets, when there's new business. So as an analytic platform owner, you would want to have a solution that is able to automate and able to address this complex environment, especially in this highly integrated as well as disintegrated supply chain, locally and globally. Okay, so some other industries like healthcare and telco. Healthcare, the SLA is life or death. So, so diagnosis is very key for doctors. I can relate some years back when I was working with healthcare providers. So in Malaysia, they have a medical error rate of close to 70 to 90%. So this is very high. Give an example like in Kazia Permanente, so they are in the States, United States, so they were targeting medical errors less than 1%. So diagnosis is very important from country to country, and you have a very high rate of errors in terms of diagnosis. So imagine this: if a patient coming in who actually has an ailment in Parkinson's disease, but were given treatment in terms of lymphoma, so that is totally unacceptable. So with our technology, we're able to hopefully close the gap. So this one example of a payer organization. So we were able to process 35 million members in 40 minutes. So this is world class. You can't get this anywhere. A lot of the healthcare system, your EHR, electronic healthcare, and electronic medical records are highly process oriented. And analytics is one of the few areas which is not developed or innovated in the healthcare space. Not because because the systems are unable to, but because of the multidisciplinary area in healthcare. So like you have like magnetic resonance, MRI systems, like CAT scans. So these are content or heavy data, like a single MRI scan file can be close to 1 to 5 gigabyte. And the data would provide, information in terms of your vitalities, for example, your state of organ, compared to ERP data, finance data, HR, pharmaceutical, patient records, so, and even assets. So healthcare is a highly multidisciplinary and complex environment. However, in the area of diagnosis, which is key and which is a key area for all healthcare providers, so as an analytic platform owner, having Teradata can provide solution to diagnosis. And coming back full circle into medical areas, which is one of the key killers in the market. So having to resolve medical errors is directly improving the state of healthcare providership. Okay, so next is telco. So telco business, it's totally online. It's towards not even the cutting edge, but bleeding edge. B2C, B2B, whatever the segmentation that you look at for telecommunication, data processing is very key. And improving data processing by 88 times is one of the outcome that one of the European telco companies, data scientists were able to extract value from Teradata. So 20 times faster data processing and faster PMML scoring optimization. So in terms of this is PMML relatable to bring your own modeling. So with Dataiku solution, an external solution outside of Teradata, they're able to integrate with Vantage and ClearScape Analytics in terms of data processing and provide that time to value for this particular telco operator. All right. So having gone through the first technology piece in terms of the value of AI/ML, the functionality and what it provides, as well as giving coming into context, relatable to the different segment of areas, from healthcare to telco, retail, manufacturing, financial services. How I'm able to provide a little bit of insight in terms of where Teradata applied AI/ML to provide their value to you as an analytics platform owner. So reaching your AI and ML goals is faster and easier with Teradata. Like I'm here with you supporting you know, your use case, your challenges and your obstacles, I'm able to pool with the strength of Teradata globally with the teams we have, our industry consultants, our solution engineers, and our consulting and delivery people, and enable your digital transformation and increase your time to business value with the lowest TCO. When we say lowest TCO, we really mean it. So we really manage in terms of your ingress and egress. We look at what would be the highest gain in terms of execution for your solution. So we hope to solve as much of your complex environment, your complex solution that's required in the data analytics space. So operationalizing at scale, both on the data level, data ops level. For example, operational data and analytic ops is another term, which is operational analytics, is what we want to solve in terms of your pressing issues day to day, short term and long term. So with this, you can garner and generate an aggregation of value. So unleashing the full potential of AI ML investments is what you would aim. And if that is so, please look at Teradata in terms of our solution. Our Vantage Cloud Enterprise and Vantage Lake is able to support all your AI ML. So that's the end of my presentation. We'll go for question and answers. And I hope, we could look at workshops, or deep dive into the future in terms of this area of AI ML, right? It's a huge market. You have critical mass. There's also skills enablement. There's 73 courses for free from Teradata University, which you can look at. You can have your team, your data engineers, your data scientists, your programmers, to understand a little bit more in terms of Teradata. We have those on free. If your engineers, they might have some aspiration to be certified, we also have those, as well as micro-credential and digital badging. So we hope to take this to the next step, and I hope to hear from you soon. So thank you. I hope this had been beneficial for you. And with the Q&A, I hope we are able to understand a little bit more in terms of your requirements and scope. Okay, goodbye.